Hello. So today we're going to be talking about a question that a lot of people are asking. Should couples go to premarital counseling? Now, you might think, as a therapist, that I have a bit of a bias here, and you'd be right, so I should just call that out right away. The answer, from my perspective, is yes, right? So I'm going to talk to you today about two main reasons why couples should go to premarital counseling, and two of the biggest obstacles that they run into, and we're going to talk about how to address some of those obstacles. So, first and foremost, the first reason why you should go to premarital counseling is that getting married is probably one of the biggest decisions you're going to make in your life, at least in the top three. So we have this wonderful field of marriage and family therapy, of which I'm a member of this field, that has been doing research for decades about best ways to stay married, to prevent divorce, to have successful, happy marriages. And these people, are available. You can reach out to them and talk to them about your relationship, and they can give you some feedback as to things to be aware of, things to, the strengths that you have in your relationship that are going to be useful throughout your marriage, and some of the challenges that you might face. Many of these things you'll probably already be aware of on some level, but a therapist is going to help you identify specifically how to try to address those things and give you some really useful ideas and feedback from their experience. So, that's the first thing, is that, you're making one of the hugest decisions in your life. And there's a whole field of people that know a ton about this that you can sit down with, and they're going to talk you through the positives of your relationship and some of the challenges. Premarital counseling is always strength-based. That's my approach, certainly. We're focusing on the things you're doing well. This is a positive, exciting time. It's not like, this is supposed to be negative. I think that's this thing a lot of people feel. I work with lots of couples that come in for premarital counseling, and there's this look on their face like they're going to the principal's office or something when they come in. And what I like to tell people is you're not in the principal's office, right? This is just a time for us to sit down together. Obviously, you're very excited about your relationship if you feel good enough to be planning a wedding with somebody and to be planning on getting married. You have a good relationship. We're just trying to build on what's good and see if we can use those strengths to deal with some of the things that might be challenging. So, speaking of what might be challenging, that's the second part of this, right? The second reason to go to premarital counseling. Every couple has things that are difficult because you're two different people and you're rubbing up against each other in ways sometimes that are not going to be the best, and create friction and be challenging. Every couple has what I'd call thin ice, areas of their relationship, things that they talk about that are very difficult, that they struggle with, right? So whatever that is for you, whether it's dealing with your family, sex, money, different religions that you have, different communication styles, whatever it is, you have something like that in your relationship if you're engaged. A therapist is the perfect person to talk to. They're going to give you some tools and skills to help address those things, right? And start addressing them. Now, every relationship, every marriage has what we call perpetual problems. Issues that are going to be around the entire time. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just a reality that, hey, one person likes to communicate a certain way, the other person likes to communicate a very, very different way. That's not going to stop anytime soon. And that's okay. The goal here is to get better at handling those perpetual issues that are going to come up, right? So that's an important thing to think about. Maybe an example I think about is a couple that maybe you're both doing well in your careers, you're doing well financially, and you have a lot of kind of room in your budget right now. But then 5-10 years from now you have kids, you're trying to do a remodel on your house or whatever, and things get a little tighter. You have different spending styles. That's going to be a challenge, right? So you'd like to get ahead of that and start working on that now so that you feel really confident when you run into those challenges in the future, right? So those are the two main reasons to go to premarital counseling. One, because it's the biggest decision in your life and you have a field of experts you can tap. And two, you have challenges in your marriage that are going to come up, right? That you already are aware of because you've been dating this person. So it's great to prepare and start getting ahead of that, right? I'd say 2.5, or another reason that could be useful is like it's great to develop a relationship with a therapist going into a marriage, right? Because then when stuff comes up in the future, you can jump right back in with them. That's something a gift I see in the premarital counseling work I do, where, a couple I worked with a decade ago in premarital counseling, they come back in, something came up, we can hop right back in, as opposed to if you run into challenges later in your relationship and you have to start off fresh with a therapist, it can take a little more time. So those are the reasons to go. Now let's talk about the 2 reasons that couples usually don't go to premarital counseling and how to address some of these obstacles. So number 1 issue I run into is that your partner doesn't want to go, right? You like to go to premarital counseling, your partner doesn't. I get that. There's lots of reasons why people don't want to go to counseling therapy. They've had a bad experience, they don't fundamentally trust it, they're uncomfortable with it. All those things are okay. The key is to not judge them, right, for that because there's a lot of valid reasons why people feel the way they feel about therapy. I definitely get that and appreciate it. I have a whole other YouTube video about what to do if your partner doesn't want to go to therapy that you should check out. So that's one obstacle people run into. Your partner doesn't want to go. First and foremost, don't try to twist their arm. Just talk about the reasons why it's important to you. Hey, I'd like to do this just because we're making this huge life decision, and I want to feel really great about it. Hey, I would like to do this because we keep running into this issue, and I'd like us to get better at that. And that's the thing that you can kind of share with them and communicate with them. Another obstacle is that it's expensive, right? You are about to spend a whole boatload of money probably on a marriage. I was about to say a boat, but maybe you are buying a boat too. Maybe you're getting married on a boat. But you're spending money on this wedding, right? It's a very expensive thing. We're all aware of the costs attributed to weddings. Get that, right? And so that's usually a reason why people are like, this might be an area, a line item we could cut, right? Because things are very expensive right now. I totally get that. Now, the reason I created Launch to Land was to address these 2 obstacles. Working with lots of people and talking to people on the phone, they were seeking out therapy, and just hearing these obstacles again and again, I thought, there must be a way to address this for folks that are wanting premarital counseling, that want to do it, and feel like this would be really useful, but they have these challenges, right? So Launch to Land is my premarital counseling readiness course. It's a web-based course, so you can do it all from your phone, your computer, wherever, and you can do it anywhere in the world. And it's basically 7 pre-recorded sessions with me, and they're interactive. I'm gonna be asking you questions, and you and your partner are gonna have to talk about those questions. I'm gonna be giving you homework. You and your partner are gonna have to do that homework between sessions. So it's really similar to doing premarital counseling with me. And you get to have all the conversations, right? That are really important to have before getting married. And it's low cost. It's $250, which is an incredible savings compared to 7 real life sessions with a couples therapist. And you can do it at your own pace. Take your time. It's not, you don't have to go into a therapist's office, right? And so hopefully it's more comfortable for people doing it from your couch. So go over to launchtoland.com and check it out, and learn more about how that could be useful for you, because premarital counseling, like we're discussing today, is a super valuable thing. There's research around this. It's not conclusive, but anywhere between like 30 and 50% better chance of staying married if you do premarital counseling before getting married is a huge advantage that you are giving yourself over the general population that gets married. So that's a valuable thing, a valuable investment in your relationship in your future. So head on over to launchtoland.com to learn more today, and we're going to help you take off in the marriage you want.